The present moment is the most powerful moment that we have in our life. But the problem is most people live in time. They're future traveling. They're living in the past. They call the present moment the most powerful moment that you have because it's the only moment that you can change your life.
Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Welcome back to the show, friend. My new best friend, Billy, is with me today, and we are going to talk about Now-ist. What is Now-ist? Have you ever just thought, oh, what am I going to do tomorrow? What's for breakfast tomorrow? What's for dinner tonight? And we get so focused on the future. Or, shit, why'd I do that yesterday? That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. What about now? What are we doing right now? Or are we being? How do we be present in our daily lives? How do we live our lives to the most fulfilled portion? And Billy's going to help us with that. But before we dive in, we're going to get a quick word from our sponsor. When we come back, Billy, help me live in the now. We'll be right back.
This is Adam Adams, co-founder of Optimized LLC, where we take the guesswork out of your health. If you're feeling exhausted, struggling with weight, or just not feeling yourself anymore, your hormones might be the problem. And that's why we test, not guess. Analyzing your blood work to pinpoint exactly what's holding you back. At Optimized LLC, we help you rebalance your hormones, boost energy, and reclaim your life. Don't settle for normal. Aim for optimized. Just go to optimized.com to book your free introductory coaching call. It's a free call to help you take the first step toward feeling your best.
Okay, Billy, it's your turn. Help me be in the now. I know I can get all in my brain about where to go on vacation and all these things in the future, but now is way more important. Help me with the Now-ist.
You know, the present moment is the most powerful moment that we have in our life. But the problem is most people live in time. They're future traveling. They're living in the past. They call the present moment the most powerful moment that you have because it's the only moment that you can change your life. You can better your life. And everything that ever happened to you in your life happened in the present moment. Like Laura Jane, where's that 5-year-old self? The 5-year-old Laura Jane is in the past, right? And there's not one cell of that 5-year-old Laura Jane that's still with you now. Everything's changed. Your body changes every 7 years. It rebuilds every cell in your body. But the reality is that Laura Jane had an experience in the present moment as a 5-year-old person, living her best life, probably caught up in all the good things that life had to offer. But everything that ever happened to you happened in the present moment. Everything that's happening to you now is in the present moment. Problem is we're always thinking about it being better, wish it was different, hope it's, wish it just didn't happen. But your power resides in this present moment, not thinking so much, because we live in this chronological, this horizontal time, this timeline, past, future. I have a goal. When I get from A to B, I will be satisfied. That's a past, future thinking. But the reality is when you can take your past, future, linear, chronological self and get in the vertical where those two meet, that's the present moment. That's the power. If you look at the cover of the book, The Now-ist, that I've written, you'll see a symbol right there. It's a technology. It shows that experience of living in present moment. And when you live in the present moment, you'll see where those two lines, the vertical line and the horizontal line meet, there's this flash of enlightenment. That's the Now-ist symbol. And that's the awareness. The awareness of the present moment is what changes your life. The problem is we live in this thinking mind. We live in the energy field of our thoughts opposed to the energy field of our awareness. But when awareness is any change you want to make in your life comes from your awareness. How can you be more aware of anything? If you want to, have a spouse or get a better job, get a new car, get more fit, have better sleep, it all comes from the awareness that you have a problem. People are so stressed out, but they don't have awareness. They just get caught up in this Groundhog Day of tomorrow being exactly like it was yesterday because you do the exact same things. You have to interrupt that pattern so the record can never play the same. And the power of your awareness coupled with living in the Now-ist prowess that I call it, living in present moment awareness, you can change anything in your life, but it comes from living in the present moment and knowing that's where your power resides.
I do hear a lot of, oh, I wish that my parents had been different, or I wish I hadn't have made that decision. And you think, why are we holding on to, the past? Why don't we think, what did I learn from that? What did I gain from that? Instead of wishing it away, looking for who I am today because of it. And then we do the exact opposite of, oh, I'm going to be happy when um, so and so finally comes and says hi. Well, you be the one. You make your happiness now. You don't need somebody else to make you happy. And so I love all the things you're talking about because this is stuff that I worked on, but no buts. And I'm still growing. And I think that I'll be happy to continue to grow.
It's the most powerful part of your day, and it happens all the time. But how often are you aware, Laura Jane, of the present moment throughout your day? I mean, we're doing a podcast right now. I've got appointments. We've got a life. We've got bills to pay, family members to take care of, husbands, wives, kids, all of that. But how often are you literally rooted in the present moment? Because all it is an awareness. The thinking mind is like a wild horse. It just runs rampant. But you can tame it by just thinking, okay, in this moment, usually the quickest way to get present is through your breath because it takes the stress. The stress is the monkey mind, right? Swinging from branch to branch. But a quick breath, a focused intention in this moment, whatever is happening, and then getting your awareness back on your body. Sometimes that's a quick way to get back in the present moment too, because our mind is always thinking of externals and past future events and what's going to be different. I wish it was different. Instead of being grateful in the present moment for this moment and how you can change your thoughts and your imagination about what you want in this moment, that's when you get your power back. And that's why being a Now-ist, I'm obsessed with it. Helped a lot of people over the last decade become Now-ists and how to get out of this wild, past future life that we most live in that's full of stress.
And I was thinking, some of my most productive moments are when I just say, what can I do right now? And I'm not worried about all the other stuff. It's like, what can I do right now? I might feel overloaded. I might feel burdened, but those future thinking. That's the past coming along with me. What can I do right now?
It's a great question to ask.
And that deep breath. I
In
do
the
it
Zen
all the
tradition-
time.
In the Zen tradition, they have this thing, if not now, when? That's a Zen saying, if not now, when? Like, when are you going to be present? When are you going to do the next thing? When are you going to start that job, that experience, ask that person out for that relationship, for that first date? When are you actually going to do something? When would now be a good time?
Right now. Just get it off the list and get it taken care of.
And then don't judge it. That's the other thing. It's like, okay, yeah, they're afraid to start because all that means it starts this whole new trajectory. They're afraid to be present because the unknown, right, is where the growth is. You got to get kind of comfortable with the unknown to grow. But when you can start doing that consistently as a habit, I call it being a Now-ist, living that way as a way of life, waking up this way, going to bed this way, spending your afternoon in awareness of the present moment. And then what are your thoughts doing in that present moment? Are you worrying about what was or what could be, or are you really completely detached from the outcome in the present moment? Just being aware of this moment without any labeling or judging. And when you can get good at that, then you start to rewire your brain, you rewire your body, and all of a sudden your life starts to take a whole different trajectory.
Yeah, you're talking and I'm thinking about my husband and I going to bed at night. And he'll say, oh, we've got to start going to bed before 10. We just stay up too late. We stay up too late. And my thing is, well, we went to bed now.
There it is. When's there late? When is late? Late's just a judgment,
Who
right?
said it's wrong? It's like,
Yeah,
or I'll
it's
say,
what
well,
is.
we're going to bed today.
There's a wonderful book I just finished reading by Byron Katie called Loving What Is. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I highly recommend it by Byron Katie,
She is
Loving What Is.
amazing. Hey,
And do you know who she is?
yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. That book was so simple, so beautiful. She does workshops all over the world about the work. She calls it doing the work. It's just 4 questions, but it's about loving what is. And if you can learn to do that throughout your life, that's being in the now. That's a Now-ist. That's someone who learns the power of loving what is. And she just wrote this brilliant book. And it teaches people, like my book, The Now-ist, teaches you how to live in the present moment as a way of life and not to judge it and to surrender to it.
Well, and I love her story about how it she just had the light switch go on and she just switched from one to the other. And I
From a
like,
traumatic background, right? A very
yes.
traumatic, sad past. And she didn't judge it and live back there anymore. When would now be a good time? Let's change this sucker. Let's get going in the right direction. So loving what is, don't judge it, surrender to it, and start moving that foot in front of the other for the next thing in your life. Now, don't look back. The rearview mirror, if you're driving a car, Laura Jane, and you're focused on that rearview mirror going forward, what's going to happen to your car?
I probably can crash because
Exactly.
I
Most
won't be
people,
paying attention where I'm going.
they look at that rearview mirror, they focus on that rearview mirror, but your windscreen makes up 95% of just screen, but that little 5% is your rearview mirror. You cannot drive your car forward. You can't drive your life looking backwards.
No, so look forward and enjoy the view. And
Amen. Enjoy the
and
ride.
like I always say, we're all on our own path. I like the scenic route. Somebody else might like the expressway because they want to get there faster, but I enjoy enjoying each moment. And
Amen.
somebody else might enjoy the moments of being fast and swooshing by things because that's cool. But I personally just want to take a breath for each moment and say thank you.
Amen. Gratitude is the best multiplier. Be here now with a deep breath of gratitude. If you really want to connect to the present moment, and this is kind of a higher level thing that I do in my live events and in one-on-one coaching, but if you could take your left hand and put it over your heart, and then you take your right hand and cover your left hand, if you can breathe gratitude into your heart. I start every morning right here on this bed that way. I spend every night before I go to bed, before I say prayers, I breathe gratitude into my heart. But the reason the left hand is over the right hand is because the venus amoris, which is the most blood-rich vein in your hand, is on your left ring finger, your wedding finger. And when you put that over your heart, connecting to your heart, and you breathe gratitude into your heart, that takes you out of time. It gets you in the present moment. The heart is the most magnetic part of your entire body. So connecting to that in gratitude will change your physiology, and then it will seep into your awareness and to your subconscious. And that's how you start and end your day.
And I would love to live in my heart. That unconditional love and passion and joy. Yet I am often in my head and I have to I don't have to do anything. I choose to remind myself to be appreciative of the now. It's like
Amen.
I
Just
am
drop
where
down.
yep, in
Drop from
just
that
at the
head, just
moment.
drop it down. Those thoughts can just drop them into your heart. It's called being coherent. Coherent energy. When you have a thought and you take awareness and put it on your heart, and you touch your heart. That's why touching your heart creates that point, that anchor of your awareness, and then it takes it out of your thinking mind. You can get a coherent brain and a coherent heart, and that will take stress, overwhelm, anxiety, future traveling, all these negative emotions will just drop out of your thinking and into your heart where the power resides. Not your thought is, your mind has like a small fraction of the energy field that your heart has. So put your awareness there and watch how your life changes.
And you're bringing it up, and I'm thinking, we practice affirmations, we practice sayings, we practice the secret, the abundance, and all those things. Those are all in our brain. How do we drop those things that are so powerful from the brain into our heart? I bet you they'd be unstoppable then.
Well, when you take like I was saying, if you can take your thoughts, take something you want. I believe our imagination is one of the greatest gifts God has ever given us, the power of our imagination. So when you can take a stressful thought, a fearful thought, an action or a past event or something that is causing you anxiety, stress, overwhelm, and when you can take that thought and then you can like hold it in your heart with your eyes closed, literally hold it and then put it into your heart, like from your brain, like almost you could like take it tangibly with your imagination, with your hands, place it into your heart. You burn that up with the power of your awareness. Your heart has a 9-foot energy field, a tube twirl energy field around your body. Like I said, it's the most magnetic part. And if you could take anything that you're worried about and you place it into your heart, it burns up with the fire of your heart. I mean, you see these pictures of Jesus Christ, you see this heart, and you see that it's the sacred heart. That's a clue. That was a sign for us to follow. The heart is the power for change. If you can get your awareness out of your thoughts and out of the external world and into your heart, that's the divine realm. That's where you're sacred. That's when you have the power to change your life and take away these negative energy fields around your body and burn them up with the fire of your awareness. But it all starts from your heart. If you can get out of your thought, called coherent energy. When you bring your negative thoughts that are bouncing around, if you had like a graph, like an EKG, you'd see all these incoherent thoughts. But when you can stretch them out, put them in the peaceful energy field of your heart, that will flatten out. And all of a sudden you'll find out you feel the tension in your shoulders, your hands, it goes away. And there's 4 other prayers I have to share with you, but we can talk about those later. But the heart awareness, coherent heart awareness, science has been proving it. There's a Dr. Joe Dispenza. Have you heard of Dr. Joe?
Yes. And I love his books.
Oh my God, he's the master of heart-brain coherence. And that's basically what I'm talking. I'm sharing the beginnings of that. But you want to go really deep dive, look up Dr. Joe Dispenza. He's the master of heart-brain coherence.
Yeah, I think one of the things that his words taught me was that appreciation for what is, if you want to learn forgiveness, someone's got to do something to you that you're going to need to forgive.
Amen.
And it's like, oh, why is this happening to me? It's because I need it. I'm choosing to go through this for my personal growth. It's not the other person's. It's this person. And I think when we look at what it does for us, it magically tunes into that we are all connected and we are all one, and it just radiates out to the others. We don't have to physically go, Billy, here is a treat for you. I feel it. Do you? And
There's
it
this
goes.
old saying, Laura Jane, it says, before you enter the temple, you must forgive. And we know that the body is the temple. It says in the Bible, right? The body is the temple for the soul. And when you forgive before you enter the temple, you're entering the temple of your own physical body. You must forgive. More importantly, forgive yourself. Forget the other person for the moment. But when you can forgive yourself for your past, for maybe future things you're worried and stressed about, forgive yourself. Be kind and loving to yourself. Forgiveness is the key. If you can get out into forgiveness energy and forgiveness surrender, boy, then you'll see a different shift in your body, your energy field. You'll sleep better. The active side of infinity, which Carlos Castaneda, who wrote this wonderful book, talks about, but it's all about forgiving.
And self-forgiveness, I think, like you just said, is so critical. We see ourselves every moment, every microsecond of every day. We see where we struggle. We see where we have a hard time. And when we can allow that and quit trying to shame ourselves, oh crap, I was late for another meeting. This is awful. Oh, I'm going to get fired. What am I learning? What am I doing? Why am I beating myself up over? It's just a meeting.
Forgive. It's that simple. That literally, I think so. If you talk to some of your worst enemies the way that you talk to yourself and tried to compare them, you would win every time that argument, because you are more difficult and hard on yourself than you are on anybody else externally.
Well, and we also see ourselves more. I see all your shiny points. You show up to work all clean and ready to go. You show up to an event in your best self. And that's what I'm judging all my worst self moments too. And God realize, even if he is like this 24 hours a day, every microsecond of it, that's okay.
Laura Jane, I have a gift for you. I have a gift for your viewers, your listeners right now, and it's 4 prayers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the ancient Hawaiian 4 prayers called Ho'oponopono.
I have it right there on my board.
Isn't that good? Before we say the 4 prayers, because a lot of your listeners of yours, I'm sure, aren't familiar with them, but I do a lot of coaching, teaching, live events. I've found these 4 prayers to be the simplest, most powerful 4 prayers I think I've ever uttered to groups, to myself. I say it to myself consistently. but it's so simple. And before we get to them, I want to ask you real quick, don't give it away. How's Ho'oponopono affected you in your life?
Um, I would say it's been probably 6 years since I learned about it and practicing it. I did it a lot initially. Um, and it freed my soul to be okay with where it is. And when you're okay with where it is, you grow. You don't keep holding yourself back. And I'm trying not to give it away. So that's as
Okay,
much as I'll say.
here it is, because it's so crazy. And I have to hype it up a little bit for your audience because it's so simple. You might miss it. You might take it for granted, like we do with everything, right? Meditation, breathing, prayers, mantras, mudras, everything we all do to get out of the physical world and try to drop into our heart and be more peaceful and more coherent with our energy field, because that's where you balance healings, diseases in your body. They say a body at ease will not experience disease. So this simple 4 prayer um, mantra, if you will, if you viewers and listeners can start making this an average, 4 or 5 times a day, if you can start making that average, in 30 days, I would I would be shocked if your life isn't significantly different if you can consistently do this. Because what happens is it becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. It becomes part of you. Then the world will start showing up for you because you are attracting. Because we only attract what we are. We don't get what we want. The law of attraction is never broken. You only attract what you are. So if you are peace, and if you are being more balanced in your energy field, and your thoughts are not so hard on yourself and other people, your life will start to change. So here we go. Here are the 4 prayers. Ho'oponopono, ancient Hawaiian prayer, hundreds of years old. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. I love you. 4 prayers. I've got so many stories. I can't even share them with you right now, but I just want to tell you that those 4 prayers have helped me in my life change my energy field. And mostly it's a forgiveness and a love of myself, of the energy field of my own body, of the stress, of the judging my past and my mistakes and my quote unquote sins. If you can start forgiving and clearing and loving yourself, your point of attraction changes. And that's when things that show up in your life, you become this powerful attractor. Then you use the gift of the imagination to focus on what you want, and then you get to zero. There's a wonderful book by Dr. Joe Vitale. He wrote a book called Zero Limits, and it's teaching Ho'oponopono. He wrote this book with Dr. Hugh Lin, who was a master of Ho'oponopono, so much so that he cleared a psychiatric ward in Oahu with 60 criminally mentally insane. They shut that puppy down after about, I think it was a year with him in there cleaning on the charts of these criminally insane, mentally insane criminals. So it's powerful. I'm overhyping it because it's so simple. But if you're listening now, you need to go practice this and reach out to me, reach out to Laura Jane, and let us know how it's affecting your life.
I made little cards. I think they were 2 by 2 and with the sayings on it and gave them out to all my friends. And there's one in my car also on the visor. But I have a friend, his name, who goes by Coco Magic, and he put those words to music. And so it's out on Spotify. And there's days, my commute usually was listening to books and podcasts and stuff.
Mhm.
But there were times when I needed this. And so I would listen to him sing these words all the way to work and back. And it's beautiful. He's got an amazing voice, but it's Coco Magic. Links in the show note. So you can go listen. But it just brings so much more power because when you can feel you're adding dimension to the words when you add the music and the vibration. And
Absolutely.
it's beautiful.
That is, yeah, what a combination. Music and words, the lyrics and the harmonic balance of music. And we're all, of course, it's the universal language. You've heard that many times, but it's called that for a reason because it's beyond space and time. It's universal. It's an energy field. There's this thing in quantum physics and quantum mechanics called quantum entanglement, which means there's no separation where Laura Jane ends and I begin. We're all one. We all affect each other at the power of our awareness and the power of the universe and the speed that we interact with our thought, we can move faster than the power of thought because quantum entanglement, they're proving it in science. And so we are all one. Literally, we think it's a spiritual concept, but it's a universal concept that's been proven now by science that we are all one. So living in that oneness is the key to happiness, I think, in most people's life.
And I think some of that is understanding the me. I have a sigil that is a W on top and a M on the bottom with the E's off to the side, which means when I take care of me, I take care of the we.
Mm,
And just the power of making sure you're comfortable with who you are. It's the we me.
I love it.
And it's just that energy that just propagates when, we talk about self care and self love and self this. When you can really tune into it, it's not self love, it's universal love. It's not self care, it's universal care. But you got to take it for yourself.
I love how you said that, Laura Jane, because it is. I don't think people think about it. We watch so many videos and TV shows and read books about meditations and prayers and doing the work, right? But you're right. If the more you can live in service of yourself, you're serving the others. It's not selfish. And we talked about it before the show, like the old, you've heard it too many times, right? About putting the mask on your face, but the plane's going down before the next person. But that is really the secret. That's maybe the next level for people that are listening to this or watching this. If you can double down on your self-care, not think of it as an egoic, practice, but I'm going to make the world a better place. My grandmother, God bless her, she says, don't try to change the world, change the world you live in, and that will change the world.
It's the Michael Jackson song, The Man in the Mirror.
Amen. Ooh, I love
You gotta,
MJ.
you got to start with the man in the mirror. And that just goes from there. And I mean, he's not the only one to say that, but it's, I'm into music. I love
I'm in the
things
music
that
too.
make me feel deeper, that can put my feelings to music. And
Well, you know what? If you speaking of a little bit more of the quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement, they say there's this thing called string theory that
mhm,
you break down when you get to the end of the quark and the small proton electron, there's just an energy string. There's just a string that's vibrating, almost like a musical string. I'm a musician, so it's like a chord is played, and we're in this harmonic, resonance with people, this coherent resonance, and it's all energy. So when you can frequency shift in your own energy field, you can affect other people. And living in that oneness and that string theory, I love it because they're proving that even more, that everything is energy. Everything is energy. The table's energy, the computer, everything is energy. It's empty space. Like live in that empty energy
they're
and
just
your
all
awareness off
vibrating.
the physical world, right? Get out of the physical world.
Yeah, it's just all different vibrations. And I say this a lot is we're all just water. I might be boiling water. You might be ice cold water. It doesn't matter. We're all just water. And we're going to feel comfortable around those people that are like us. That's your tribe. And, just enjoy the energies. And if you get around someone who's ice cubes and they're dropping in your boiling water and it's changing you, walk away. It's okay to stay you. It, you don't have to take on everything.
I love that you said that because I think that's what's missing in this comparison. Mark Twain said, "Comparison is the death of joy." And I think we get so caught up in the comparison of the Joneses, of what's going on in the world, of social media, the news, magazines, all these things, instead of just being your authentic self. One of my favorite artists of all time is Prince. And God bless Prince. His birthday's coming up. But I believe that, he was one of the most authentic artists that ever walked the planet. And he did not care what people thought of him. He was going to express his music and his art and his fullest expression of himself. And look what it did. I mean, just millions, billions of people's lives were affected. But we can all do that for ourselves. Don't listen to people's words, judgments, hate on you. Just go deeper, look in the mirror, right? Become your fuller, authentic self. And then you can free yourself from that encapsulation. It is the world and is, you know, negative energy, which comes out of a lot of people's mouths. They say the tongue is mightier than the sword, right?
Oh man, yes, it can be.
Ugh.
I know my husband the other day said, I wonder what he thinks of me. And I go, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he thinks of you. It matters what you think of you. Who
Period.
cares?
That's it. But how often do people get caught up by a quick word? Somebody cuts you off, somebody says some nasty comment on one of your posts, or, doesn't like your video or whatever. And just we take it personal. It just, Don Miguel Ruiz is another phenomenal spiritual teacher. You probably know his book, The Four Agreements.
Yep. And the fifth.
That was the other book. But I just love that. Don't take it personal. Don't make assumptions, right? Always do your best. Be impeccable with your word. I mean, these are simple four agreements and they apply to your life every day. It's like the four, Ho'oponopono prayers. They're simple concepts that people can use to change their life without this heavy lifting, reading all these books, going to all these events and these live events and seminar. No, it just starts with you and simplicity. Be simple. Be like water, right? Be like water.
Yeah. It's okay. You can have a flask around you and not be affected by all the other temperatures of water. You can stay that way for 24 hours.
Amen. And then you get good at it. And then it doesn't seem so hard because you get muscle memory, you get subconscious programming. Because 95% of everything we do anyways is done with our subconscious mind. We have 40,000 thoughts. We have the same 40,000 thoughts we had yesterday. Why not put some new ones in there and start reprogramming your subconscious mind? That's what I'm all about. That's why I'm so obsessed with living in the present moment and being a Now-ist is reprogramming that physical mind in a subconscious fashion. So you show up in the physical world and better things happen to your life because your subconscious 95% of your brain and your life that's being run by this subconscious mind will start to change and attract better things.
Better. It's like, what is better? It's different. It's a new experience. It's a new something. It's just different,
Well, I think of best, Laura Jane. There's this wonderful, I love quoting books that I read and teachers that
Yeah.
I've listened to. And there's this wonderful Zen story I'll tell you quickly about this Zen master that had worked for 8 years to become enlightened. And he still wasn't there. He's done all the works, the mantras, the mudras, the vipassana, were just silent meditation for like 10 hours. And he just couldn't get there. But one day he's in the butcher shop. And he goes up to the butcher and he says, "Give me the best piece of meat you have." And he says, "Every piece of meat in this shop is the best. There is not one piece of meat that's not the best." And then the Zen student became enlightened because he realized every moment's the best. Everything, every person is the best. It's the judgment that keeps you out of enlightenment. When you realize you are the best, you just have to not compare yourself to everybody.
You are the best you, and you are the perfect you. You are supposed to be right now, and no supposed to be's. You just experience now and enjoy it. And your next now is going to be fun too. And your next fun and your next, my husband would say, "What time is it?" I go, "It's now."
That is
I don't want to have to look it up. It's now.
right. How's right now treating? Yeah, it could be bad, but still, in this moment, what problem do you have? In this moment, what is lacking? If people ask that question throughout the day, like that's another Zen tradition. In this moment, what is lacking? Literally, right now, is there anything lacking? No, there's
I'm
nothing.
alive. I'm breathing. I'm not hungry. I'm
Right.
safe.
There it is. So you think about that. Most people think, "Oh, my life is so hard." They got this story of the past and they're worried about what's going to happen in the future. I've got an amazing daughter. She's graduating next week from high school. My wife and I are going to be empty nesters. It's like, okay, I think about, oh my gosh, in a week she's going to graduate and then we're going to be empty nesters at the end of summer. And but no. I am so obsessed with right now, just being involved in every time she comes home from school, not knowing it's going to be the last time she's going to do that. I just think I'm just so grateful and sucking the marrow out of this moment because I'm just so grateful to have it. I'm so present with her. I'm doubling down on my presence because I realize it's going to be different this time next year. But if not now, when? This moment is the best. Nothing lacks right now. And even right now, I'm totally committed to talking to you, Laura Jane. I'm not thinking about my daughter coming home from school or she's got a big awards event tomorrow. We got this. If you can live that way, living as a Now-ist in present moment awareness with gratitude and with consistent connection to this moment, you will be surprised how your life can change.
And people will get confused of like, well, if you're in a Now-ist, how do you even know that something's going to happen tomorrow? You know what? It's just a plan, but I'm living right now. I'm not living for tomorrow. Maybe I'm getting this is a woman thing. My nails done. Maybe I'm getting a pedicure. Maybe I'm going on a diet for tomorrow. But I'm now.
Well, let's think
You know,
about some of the
I'm
greatest teachers of all time, Laura Jane. Sorry to interrupt you. Have
no,
said
you're good.
Jesus said, he says, take no thought for the morrow will take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient is the evil for the day, which means there'll be plenty of problems tomorrow. Hey, no, but take no thought for tomorrow. This now is the acceptable time. That's a clue from one of the greatest teachers that ever walked this planet. That now is acceptable. Look at the lilies, how they grow. They never toil nor spin, but even God has adorned, and Solomon was never adorned more beautiful than these little lilies in the field. Like, look how this moment is so beautiful. And look, you don't need anything else. Take no thought for tomorrow. This is the acceptable time. Like, there's so many teachers, there's so many clues and synchronicities that show up in people's lives to be present, but you have to have the eyes to see them. I call them spiritual breadcrumbs.
And we can follow them in the now.
That's all
The
you got.
breadcrumbs are there. And you know what? You're going to know the next step when it's time to take it, when it's now. I don't need to worry about,
Don't
well,
worry
where
about
is it taking me? You just trust.
the
And
past is dead. The future has no energy. You can't affect it. I mean, like, this is the energy and the power you have. That's why when I discovered this, this book was just literally downloaded through me in 2016, 17. It just became this overwhelming, inspirational mission and calling from God that I've just have been living with all of my heart and soul, passion and live events, and working on a feature-length film right now. I'm fully committed to helping people in this world get out of stress and overwhelm and anxiety and live in the present moment as a way of life. I call it being a Now-ist.
that doesn't mean we don't care. It just means we live our best life right now.
And every moment is the best.
How could we say it any better?
And even if bad things happen, they pass like this. And then how do you judge that? If something sad, negative, you can quote unquote failure, like, literally, what are you doing with the next moment? How are you going to change? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Dr. Wayne Dyer, a brilliant spiritual teacher, that was his epitome. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So how are you going to change the way you look at things?
I'm going to find the beauty in everything I look at.
Amen, sister.
It's my goal. Like, if I can't see it, I'm going to look harder. It's like,
Look in.
yeah.
Don't look out. Look in. Look in the mirror, like Michael Jackson. Like, look in that mirror. Look deep into your eyes, the windows to the soul. Look in. Don't look out. They say,
And
he who dreams, I think Carl Jung says, he who dreams looks inward. He who wishes looks outward. So if you want to make your dreams come true, look inward. Don't look out into the world to satisfy your dreams, or you do the next thing, or hoping for someone the piano of purpose to fall on you one day and you've now figured out what it is and this wonderful windfall happened. Look inward. Look inward. That's when you awaken.
And I think sometimes we're afraid to look in because I might see something I don't want to see. It's easier just to go on autopilot and keep going through the day. And I call those my robotic years, where I didn't look in, I didn't have emotions, I didn't have anything, because I turned them all off to be the doer. And I ended up in the hospital. When you wake up and you're in that hospital bed and you can say, this is for my good, I can make a difference. I can change the way I've been treating myself. And you've just freed yourself because you took advantage of the now. And it doesn't matter how far down you fall. It might be the bounce you needed.
Amen, Laura Jane. And that's it. You have to learn, and I've learned through a lot of trials. I had a near-death experience. I had to learn to walk again about 4 years ago. I was paralyzed. Got Guillain-Barré syndrome from COVID, 2021. Mildly claustrophobic, spent 4.5 hours in an MRI tube with no drugs because I got Guillain-Barré syndrome from COVID. So I was paralyzed for 21 days, had to learn to walk again, had to learn to talk again. I almost died. But when I learned to bless my problem, And I made this experience my spiritual quest. It was my spiritual mission. It was a spiritual purpose to go through this challenge, this life challenge, and not wish it was different, and be grateful, bless this problem, that it became my spiritual practice. And then it helped me be a better spiritual teacher, a better husband, a better father, just a better human being. And realizing that was happening. You heard it before. It happened for me, not to me. I was not a victim. And I got such 2020 vision after it had passed, realizing this, I would have not wished this different. I wanted it to be how it was, and I'm grateful for it. I wish it didn't have to affect my wife and daughter so adversely and so fearfully, because they didn't get to see me for 21 days because it was COVID. And they didn't know if I was living or dying or staying paralyzed. But I learned to bless that problem and to then learn to pay it forward. Once I came through that, I just helped so many people through my challenge to serve them, that I realized this is why this happened for me, to serve.
What powerful stories we all can have when we take that adversity and turn it into purpose and flourish. You don't only make a difference for you, you make a difference for everybody in the world.
And that's our mission. I believe that's why we're all here, to be of service to other people. I believe to find your purpose is to find it and then to give it away, whatever it is. If you're a great musician, it's something to sing songs, perform, go serve people with that music. If you're a spiritual teacher, it's to serve people. If you're a great mom, it's to be the best mom you can, so your kids see what that's like, or the best dad that you can, so your kids can experience, so that can pay forward to generations of this is what love looks like. This is what service in action looks like. And my wife's a high school teacher for the last 30 years. And, she gives so much to these kids, and she comes home every day just pretty exhausted, but she's living her purpose. She's living her calling. And I see it in her eyes, and she can't wait to get back there and help the kids. She is excited that summer's almost here, because teachers need a break. Because if it was 12 months of teaching, I don't know if there'd be that many teachers in the world, because they need to repair. They need to restore those batteries. But it is, you find your purpose and then give it away.
You can only go so long without recharging. And whether you're able to do it nightly or each season or whatever, you need to recharge. And it's just like our cars, we need to fill them up with gas. We need to do their maintenance. We need to do their rotation. We need to take care of ourselves and know that the person you are right now is perfect.
Amen. Do not look to change. How are you going to change? I mean, you could change other things, physical things about yourself. You could change how you think, how you sleep, how you breathe. You could change your hair color, whatever. But the reality is your heart is the same. The energy field that you came from, that you will return to, is the oneness that we had talked about earlier. That never changes. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change in the physical world. But your soul, the Muktananda, this wonderful Indian saint, says that is real, which never changes. What do you think he was talking about?
Probably that authentic part of who we are, that core,
Yes, which is the soul, right?
yeah,
The soul never changes. Your body, your 5-year-old that we talked about, the 5-year-old Laura Jane, she's changed, but the soul of you never changed. It's that which is real, which never changes. So why don't we attract more into that soul energy, the heart facing energy that is the change that you're looking for in your life? And if you focus on that, knowing that your soul is there to serve you, unconditionally loving you, but you got to love it back. You got to quit judging yourself and being so hard on yourself. You are enough. You are the best you. You're the only you. Everybody else is taken.
that's so true. And be the change you want to see in the world. And when I say the change, that doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you have it in you right now to shine, to make a difference, to be the you that you are meant to be. And all you have to do is embrace it and be okay with where you are right now. Be the now-ist.
Amen. And what's so cool about that is I love this quote from Hafiz. He says, even after all this time, The sun never says to the earth, you owe me. Just look what a love like that does. It lights the whole sky. So thinking about what you want to, how you want to show up in the world and what you want to do with your life and who you want to be and create and serve, like you just want, when you have a lot of anything, I don't know, if I had so much money that I could not spend it, I would give it away, right? You would have so much excess. When you have a big banquet, a big Thanksgiving dinner, you can't eat all that food. You want people to come and you want to give it away. So if you could think of that way, like when you find your purpose, you just want to give it away. Be like the sun. That's a good clue for you. How are you going to create abundance in your life? Attract so much abundance, whatever it is, emotionally, socially, spiritually, financially, physically, and then just give that away.
And I've used the analogy that my soul is the sun and my physical body is the earth. And
Mhm.
sometimes there's a rainstorm going on and I don't see the sun. And sometimes there's a tornado coming through. But my soul, that sun, is always that warm, beautiful thing ready to give when I let the clouds dissipate and I allow it in.
I love that. That is so true because the weather always changes, right? The weather, you're going to have good days, bad days. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be excited. You're going to be elated. You're going to feel weak and sore, and it's all going to happen. But the reality is, like the sun's always shining, right? It's always up there, right? The earth just has to move, but the sun's always there. And I love that. I've never heard someone connect the sun to their soul like that. I think that's a beautiful image to hold in your heart and your mind.
I think for me, it helps me through the bad days. Oh, this is just a rainstorm. Oh, this is just a blustery day.
Sun is still shining beyond the clouds and the rain. It's still
I'm
up there.
still there. I am still there and I'm whole. I'm just experiencing this for some reason. And you get the dark and you get the light. And for me, it's refreshing. It helps me be okay when my mood isn't quite what I want it to be, but I know it's just an experience I'm going through.
You know what? I love Eckhart Tolle.
Hmm.
He says, life is the dance and you are the dancer.
We've read a lot of the same books.
Isn't that great though? I love that quote because I think about being a Now-ist. Of course, he taught me a lot about living in the now. I loved his books, New Earth and The Power of Now. He's kind of one of the fathers of the now that brought it. He's actually currently the most powerful, most influential spiritual teacher in the world right now. Dalai Lama is number 2.
Oh, wow.
Because people are so attracted to this now because they realize that the physical world and this earth is like overwhelming people with stress and anxiety. I mean, look at how many people have to take, pain pills and medication for stress and for overwhelm and sleep deprivation, all these things. The now is very powerful right now. But I love that life, because think about the dance. Like you can choose the dance, right? Tango, salsa, cha-cha, whatever. You can slow dance. You can choose it, but life is going to move in that. You're the dancer. You choose it. If you're having a bad day, change the dance. Change how you think about your day. Be active in your dance. Like, don't just think, yeah, I'm going to slow dance. It's so lame. I wish I was in a cha-cha. I wish I was tangling right now. I wish I was like having a really happening swing right now, but I don't feel like it. But you can change the way you look at things and you can change what shows up in your life through your thoughts.
A lot of times for me, it's just changing the music. My
Amen.
mood will change immediately.
Physically, you're right. Put a song on, right? Music is amazing for changing your mood, for changing your attitude, the energy field, because words connected to lyrics, like we were talking earlier, there's a magical power in that. There's so much. That's why it's a universal language, right? People connect to it. Talk about the oneness, the power of oneness in music. That's the first step, I guess, for someone looking to change their mood. Actively find ways to get out of that depression, get out of that worry or that anxiety. Find calming music if you're stressed, if you're breathe, listen to the music, let the music get into your soul, get in the cells of your body, the energy field of your body. And you can change the way you look at things through changing your habits too.
I'm the playlist queen. I have my confidence playlist. I have my energy playlist. I have my wind down playlist because they invoke certain responses from me and I can count on them. Where if I'm having a hard time feeling confident, I just plug in this playlist and done. So it makes it nice and easy.
Well, it changes your energy, right? Like, there's something about the music you can't tap it. You're humming, you're singing the melody line, you're harmonizing. If you can sing, you're finding these harmonic tune that is a resonating. I'm a singer, so one of my singing teachers taught me this once years ago. I was like kind of blown away because I've been singing and performing music and writing music for years. But he says when you're on that stage singing, you're physically moving the energy and the heart energy of the people listening. It's not just so much the words sound nice, but they're vibrating. You're vibrating their bodies and their energy fields. Like, so when you sing a beautiful melody and you sing it on key and in time, it creates coherence. So you think about that when you listen to music. Like, what a great way to change your state.
And that's true for everything. People put off this energy you're talking about, whether it's music or not. You walk by them and you can get the heebie jeebies, or you can get the, ah, it's an energy. And that doesn't mean that their energy is wrong or right. It means it matches yours. And when it matches yours, there's more harmony. And whether you're a good singer or not, go ahead and try to harmonize. It's fun.
It is fun because even if you don't nail the attunement of the waveforms, you can get close and hearing those tunes and those chords that you're going to be making, kind of with a harmonic harmony. It's just fun. It is fun. I mean, you don't judge yourself. People get so caught up in being perfect. I think it's a curse nowadays. This perfectionist curse. We've got to let go. We got to be easier on yourself. Give yourself a break. You're just the way you are. You're just exactly. God does not make mistakes.
And every expert started as a beginner. So compare yourself when you're on your path to where you're at right now, not somebody else's experienced path.
Imagine how much stress would dissipate out of people's bodies if they weren't so caught up in the comparison and the Joneses and trying to compete. Wow, I have to check myself consistently with that thought. I have quotes that show up on my calendar every day, like comparison is the death of joy. And, you are the best you right where you are. There's nothing you can do. You're a human being, not a human doing. Quit doing so much. Why don't you be more?
And we could go on and we could go for hours with just sayings that can help you feel your best each moment of the day. But let's go ahead and wrap up. And Billy, tell us about you. I know you've kind of put it in there, but expand a little bit on who you are, what you do, and your book, and how we get a hold of you. And then what is that one
First
thing
of
we
all,
can
thank
try?
you so much, Laura Jane. I can talk about coherent energy and two vibes that are vibing or harmonic. I feel very harmonic with you. I feel like we are in alignment, which is wonderful because it means the people listening or viewing this are going to feel the same energy field because it will move their energy fields because we're in alignment. And so being a father, our beautiful daughter is about to graduate. I've been married for 30 years to my wonderful wife, and we have a cute little dog named Pepper, who's a Yorkie. And I'm blessed to live here in Santa Barbara. I fell in love with Santa Barbara and my wife at the same time. But, about a decade ago, I answered this calling. My purpose on this planet is to be a spiritual teacher and to teach people how to live in the present moment as a way of life. I call it being a Now-ist. And I've done live events, and we're currently making a movie, a feature-length film called For Now. And if you go to billymandarino.com, you can look at the trailer. You can find out how you can support this. This is our mission to serve people living in overwhelm. This is teaching people how to emerge from trauma because 2/3 of the planet has an unresolved trauma they don't even know they have because it's disassociated. So my mission is to help people get out of this traumatic physical world we live in the divine, eternal now that is in the present moment, and just see how I can do my part in this world to shine the light of awareness on the world.
I love it. And that's my goal, is just to brighten the light, that you see a little clearer of what you're choosing to look at, not me. I'm not trying to tell you what to look at. It's like, I just put the glasses on. Now you can see clearer.
It's that simple. You're doing the right thing. If you come from a place of how can I serve, not what's in it for me, just think how your life will change. Literally, more abundance will flow into your life. People think in scarcity, I've got to control. No, give it away. Find how you can serve people. A smile, a thank you. Give somebody your leftovers. Give somebody some money that's on the street that has their hand out. Like, don't judge. Just give from your heart.
Yes, just give. What's that one thing, Billy, that we should try this week to see if the shoe fits?
I have a simple one for you. And the live events that I've done, I do one-on-one coaching with kids. I've done live events in schools, middle schools, high schools, elementary schools. And I've got hundreds of letters after all these events that I've done. And there's this one thing, and this simple thing came from sixth graders to 12th graders. And it was always, there's this common thread. And it was this simple thing that I would always bring in through my live events. And I would say, what is NOW spelled backwards?
I have to write it down. I can't do that out in my head.
NOW spelled backwards is one.
One.
When you're in the now, you have won. You've won your presence back. It's also a homonym, ONE, one moment in time, one infinite point of awareness in your day, in your breath. When you're in the now, you have won. And it's a simple concept, but when you see now, flip it backwards, it's one. Remember that this one moment, you can win this moment. And when you win this moment with your awareness, it's going to take you out of physical time. It's going to take you out of stress. If you can do it consistently and just see how that changes your life. When you're in the now, you have won.
That's beautiful. So this week, we're going to take our deep breath to get us in the now and realize we've won. This moment, you just were the winner. Yay! And we can all win at the same time. And that is the coolest part.
Isn't it?
There doesn't have to be a loser.
When you're in the now, you've won, and you have won, and you are the winner because you've won your presence back. And watch how things in your life change when you can do that consistently throughout the day. Watch how stress just dissipates. The ego hates the peace of the present moment. So just get out of that egoic thought and that negative thinking. Just get in this moment.
Done. Thank you so much, Billy. You've been the best friend forever.
You too. Thank you so much, Laura Jane. You are a light in the world and you are living your purpose. So God bless you.
Well, thank you for joining. And friend, Billy and I are not medical or mental licensed professionals. We are here for entertainment. We just want to shine a light on your path to make your path a little smoother and clearer. Thank you for joining and stay tuned for the next episode.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Laura Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss the next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.